Hey guys, what's up? JJJBoxing here. So, in a recent interview, Jermell Charlo said that Canelo's best career win was Sergey Kovalev. Now, we'll discuss this if I agree with it, if you guys agree with it. Let's go over Canelo's resume to kind of see what Jermell is saying here. So, I actually do agree with Charlo. I'll say right off the bat, and I'll tell you why. When you go to Canelo's resume, he has a very good resume. He has a lot of names on his resume, some of the best fighters of the last 15 years on his resume. And among them is Sergey Kovalev. But let's go over why I agree with Charlo that Kovalev is Canelo's best ring in his whole career. Because if you look at his whole... So we'll go back all the way to... He beat Matthew Haddon. I think that is in that... I think that's Ricky Haddon's brother, right? That's when he started really facing, I would say, someone who was more known, I would say. And then he beat Shane Mosley. But Shane Mosley, way past his prime. Oh, to go back to Matthew Haddon. Yeah, like he was a good fighter, but nothing like crazy, right? Like, but still a good fighter. Shane Mosley was a great fighter back in the day, but he was way past his prime. Way over the hill when he fought Canelo. I think... Actually, he wasn't... Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was, actually. I thought Canelo fought Shane Mosley way after... I thought Canelo fought Shane Mosley way after Pacquiao did, but it actually is only a year apart. Pacquiao fought Shane in 2011 and Canelo fought him in 2012. Okay, so that's actually not that bad. That's a decent win, I would say. But obviously Shane was still over the hill when he fought Pacquiao, but I just thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was like 2015. So that's a good win, I would say, but Shane obviously not even close to in his prime anymore at that point, over the hill. Anthony Mondane, good, obviously good fighter. Nothing great, though. Ricardo Mayorga, I'm surprised he fought him. Wow, I don't even remember. I can't believe Ricardo was still fighting at that time. I thought he totally fell off. He was definitely way past his prime. Definitely, so that's not really a good win, I wouldn't say. A named fighter, though. I forgot he fought Mayorga. Wow. And he got a 6-round knockout. Wow. David Avanesian. Or wait, who am I on? Oh, I'm on... Oh, crap, guys. Okay, no, never mind. I was on Shane Mosley's Fox Rec. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, Canelo didn't fight him. Canelo didn't fight Mayorga. I'm like, what? Okay, yeah, but he did fight, though, Shane when he was still over the hill, but only a year after Pacquiao, so that's not bad. Okay, the Matthew Haddon, Shane Mosley, Josecito Lopez, good win. Austin Trout, a good win, because it was against a young, hungry challenger in Austin Trout. It was for the WBC and WBA. Stop licking your paw, mister. Sorry, my dog in the back is kind of... The licking is kind of annoying. Just the sound of it, you know what I mean? But okay, so Austin Trout, very good young, hungry challenger. He beat him. I remember that was a competitive fight. Canelo dropped him pretty hard, I remember. I think it was like a right hand. And then Canelo, that was the turning point. That's what won him the fight. Floyd Mayweather didn't get the win. Pretty much almost lost every round. I was Great performance by Floyd in that fight. Canelo was just at 22 at the time, still very green. And Ferdinand Angulo, good win, but yeah, nothing special. Arislandi Lara, close fight, could have went either way. I remember I thought Canelo won just because I thought Arislandi Lara didn't throw enough punches. Though I thought if Lara threw more punches, you could have maybe gave him the win, but I feel like his movement was good. He just didn't throw enough. He wasn't active enough, in my opinion. That's what lost him the fight, but it was competitive, close fight. James Kirkland, that was like knockout of the year. Miguel Cotto, that was another very close fight. The scorecards were, I can't believe they were that wide because that fight was very close. I actually thought you could have gave that to Cotto. That's how close it was, I remember, if I'm remembering the fight correctly. So I can't even put that as one of his best wins since the fight was very close and competitive. Amir Khan, knockout of the year. But like I said, he's not that caliber of fighter that you would say that was his best win. Liam Smith, good challenger, big, undefeated, moving up. Or not moving up. That was the 154-pound Liam Smith. Sorry, that wasn't Callum. Chavez Jr., boy, has that win kind of not aged well for anybody. That win means nothing for anybody anymore. Gennady Golovkin, first fight, draw. He clearly lost that fight. He got dominated by Gennady Golovkin and got outboxed. Rocky Fielding, he moved up to 168. And that was a good win. Rocky Fielding only had one loss. Good win. Wouldn't say that's his best win. Just because Rocky Fielding's he's not like a great fighter. He's a good fighter. Daniel Jacobs, a good fighter. I would say that was a good win. It was a decently close fight, good win, but nothing spectacular. Then we get to Sergey Kovalev. So Sergey Kovalev, the reason why... Actually, let's just go through... Okay, that Sergey Kovalev happened after the Daniel Jacobs. We'll get to that last because I think that's his most important win back in 2019. Kovalev was 36 at that time. But let's go back. Let's go Callum Smith, 168. He was undefeated. Good win by Canelo. Very good win. Moved up to 168. Hildrum, no, we won't really count that. It's not that good. Billy Joe Saunders is in the argument for one of his best wins. Billy Joe was undefeated, 30-0. He was a very tricky boxer. Was giving Canelo some problems in the fight until Canelo just broke his face. So I think you should put Billy Joe in the top 3 of Canelo's best wins in his resume. There's an argument to be made that Billy Joe should be one of Canelo's best wins for sure. He pretty much retired him after that. But Billy Joe had so many good wins. He had like the Martin Murray win. He had the David Lemieux win. That was very impressive. David Lemieux was a monster, and he made him look like nothing. Totally outboxed him. Willie Monroe Jr., Andy Lee, Chris Eubank was a split decision. John Ryder back in the day. O'Sullivan. He had a good record. He had a good resume, Billy Joe. But what sealed it for me was what he did to David Lemieux was pretty good. Like, David Lemieux was a monster, and only Triple G really had his number at that time, I think, when he fought him, I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. He was on a knockout streak, and only David Lemieux only Triple G had David Lemieux's number at that time. I know he lost earlier in his career, a lot earlier, but he was on a tear, Lemieux. So that's a great win for Billy Joe. So that made me think, wow, Billy Joe's really good the way he made, and all the other names I mentioned on Billy Joe's record just shows you that what Canelo did to him was impressive. He broke his face, and he never fought again to this day. No pun intended. Okay, we got Billy Joe, and then he goes right to Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, another good win, good fighter, but he wasn't spectacular in that fight. He was doing good things, and the knockout was spectacular, but it wasn't an overall what I would call one of his. I wouldn't put that in his best win, to be honest. Caleb's good, but he didn't just run through Caleb. Caleb was having a lot of success until the knockout. Not to say Canelo wasn't doing good in that fight. He was always in that fight. He was winning rounds even before the knockout, but I wouldn't call that his best win. Dmitry Bivol, he lost. Gennady Golovkin, this third fight. He didn't look impressive in the third fight, let's be honest. John Ryder, it's John Ryder, good fighter, nothing special. So, yeah, okay, I forgot. We go back to the Triple G1 fight. He clearly lost that fight, right? Triple G2 fight, very close fight. I thought Golovkin won again. But if you argued Canelo won by a point or two, okay. But it wasn't enough to say that was his best win. Like, best win in the sense of his best opponent, maybe. But it was such a close fight, and the fact that I thought Triple G won, a lot of people did, you can't call that his best win. Just wasn't a clear victory, in my opinion. And Gennady Golovkin, the third fight, yes, he won that more clear. Gennady Golovkin was actually coming on late in that fight, in my opinion. And scorecards were actually pretty close in that fight. And I did think the third one was close, but Canelo controlled the first half of the fight, and Gennady Golovkin came on too late. He had success. But Canelo did not look good in that fight, either did Triple G. It was an old Triple G. So, okay, let's go back, guys, to why I think Sergey Kovalev is Canelo's best win. So, Sergey was 36 at the time. He only lost to Andre Ward. He did get knocked out, actually, by Elder Alvarez. I did forget that, guys. But Elder Alvarez was a full 175, and Kovalev did come back and avenge that loss. So you do have to put that into the picture there. But I actually forgot that. So Canelo faced a Kovalev that only lost to Andre Ward and Elder Alvarez, but he avenged that. So really, it was only Andre Ward. Kovalev was 36. Yes, Kovalev was over the hill, but still, 36, he wasn't that old. He was declining, though. His discipline wasn't there. Heard he was drinking vodka in training camps. Ever since the Andre Ward series, Kovalev hasn't been the same, but still, he was the WBO champ. And Kovalev was a great fighter. He wasn't just a good fighter. He was the crusher. He was crushing guys. So even Kovalev on the downhill, like, even not a prime Kovalev, he was still a force to be reckoned with. And not only that, Canelo was coming up from 160 after beating Daniel Jacobs and went up all the way to the full 175 to challenge Sergey Kovalev for his WBO title. And I know some of you are going to say, what I just mentioned, Kovalev was older. He was past his prime, but he still was champion, guys. And I know he was coming off of the quick turnaround against Anthony Yarde. I think Kovalev fought literally 2.5 months after the Yarde fight. And Kovalev actually did mention after the knockout loss that he was drained because he had the training camp with Yarde and then he had the Canelo camp back to back. And he said that really drained him. And that's why he got knocked out. As well as it was hard for him to make the weight, he was saying, at 175. Because he moved up to cruiserweight after that fight. Right after that fight, he moved up to cruiserweight. But you can't take away the fact that Canelo moved up from 160 to 175. And not only did he beat Sergey Kovalev, yes, it was a close fight. Yes, if it went to the scorecards, I had Kovalev winning the fight if it was going to go to the scorecards at that moment in time. It was round 11, so I had Kovalev winning the fight. But I didn't think Canelo had any chance of beating Kovalev. I remember going into that fight, I thought, what a tough task is going to be for him. Like, I remember going into that fight like, wow, you have to respect Canelo if he can win this fight. If he can even compete with Kovalev. you have to respect him. And the way the fight was going, I was like, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I was right. But then he knocked out Kovalev. And yes, he was losing the fight, but the fact you knock out Kovalev in that spectacular fashion, you still have to give him credit there. I know Kovalev wasn't the crusher anymore. He wasn't crushing guys. He wasn't prime Kovalev. But he was still the light heavyweight champion. He had the WBO belt. He avenged his loss to Aldir Alvarez. So really only Andre Ward beat the guy. And Canelo was coming up 2 weight classes to challenge him, 15 pounds. And he knocked out one of the best light heavyweights of the last 20 years in Kovalev. So that's why I think Canelo's best win is Sergey Kovalev, because Kovalev was such a monster, and Canelo was just coming up from 160, and he knocked out Kovalev in that spectacular fashion. No other guys could Canelo really do that to. He didn't dominate Triple G in the fights he supposedly won, like the third one and the second one were close. I thought Triple G won the first 2, like I said, clearly. Even though Canelo got the wins for that, you can't say that's his best wins. Even if you thought he won the second and third fight, he officially got the win. But let's just say you thought he won. He wasn't spectacular. Let's be honest, guys. And the Cotto fight wasn't a spectacular win for him. That was a close fight. The Billy Joe, he broke his face. That's my number 2 pick. The Billy Joe Saunders and the Sergey Kovalev. Those are really good wins, in my opinion, and probably his 2 best wins on his resume, guys. But let me know what you think. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, Golovkin's his best win, just because Golovkin is the best fighter on his resume. I think Golovkin is better than Sergey Kovalev, but Golovkin beat Canelo. Let's be honest. He beat him 2 times out of the 3. Even the third fight was close, but that one was the clearest win for Canelo. But the second fight, Gennady's win. First fight, Gennady's win. So I can't say it's Golovkin. Sergey Kovalev is his best win, guys. And Billy Joe is number 2, in my opinion, the way he broke his face. But like I said, I did not expect him to challenge Sergey Kovalev at the full 175 and knock him out. You have to give Canelo credit there. So let me know what you guys think about Jermell Charlo saying Kovalev is his best win. And it's kind of funny because Charlo is doing the same thing that Canelo's doing now. He's moving up 2 weight classes. So it's the other way around now. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. This is Triple J Boxing. Leave your comments, subscribe, like, and take care, guys.